Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. I hope you're enjoying the Jubilee Bank Holiday weekend. We've got the Thursday and the Friday off here in the UK. Not bad, is it? But anyway, next week, the 7th of June, we have the rematch between NAOYA INOUE and NONITO DONAIRE. You probably have seen the original fight, their first fight, which was in 2019. It was the final of the World Boxing Super Series. It was won by INOUE. A unanimous decision. I think one judge had it 114, 113, which I thought was a bit close. If memory serves, I watched this fight a bunch of times, but if memory serves, when I watched it the first time, I scored it 116, 111. But that doesn't tell the full story of the fight, because both these men were at the absolute pinnacle of their immense powers. Two guys. If you've got a young kid and he or she wants to learn how to box, this is one of the fights you show them. Because both guys gave everything, showed immense skill, and it was just a pleasure to watch. And it is one of those fights I keep revisiting. One of the best fights of the last 5 years, no question. So making a prediction for this fight, Inoue is a red-hot favourite, or considerable favourite, but you write Donaire off at your peril, even though the guy's nearly 40. You don't sleep on this guy. Since losing to Inoue, he's picked up a WBC bantamweight title, and he's defended it, I think, once, beaten two undefeated guys. He beat Nordina Boulay, who I think holds the victory over Inoue's younger brother, if memory serves. And Donaire also beat Rematch Gabello, who was undefeated in 24 fights. That was a defense of the WBC bantam title. As we know, I mean, NONITO DONAIRE has been a professional boxer for 21 years. It's incredible, and he's a Hall of Famer. He's won belts at 4 weights, and I think the only mistake he made in his career was going too high up the weights too quickly. Went up to featherweight, spent a few years there, lost to Carl Frampton. Most notably, he got beaten up and stopped by Nicholas Walters, the old Axeman. But Donaire, make no mistake about it, is back down at his normal weight, his optimum weight, which is bantamweight. He has looked like a fighter reborn, a fighter who is defying Father Time, and is a genuine threat to Inoue. Now, Inoue is the younger man. He holds the victory over Donaire, so he knows he can beat him already. He's 29, so he's 10 years, a decade younger. Hard to believe, isn't it? But he's calls himself Monster, and he is a monster. He is an incredibly hard-punching, sharp-shooting fighter. Now, of course, he has power, and he puts everything into each punch. But to me, his strength is his speed and his accuracy. And he seems to instinctively know which punches to throw at what point. He is in no shape or form reckless. You know, this isn't Conor Benn we're talking about. I like Conor Benn, but come on, you know. He tends to little hang out. Inoue is not a kill or be killed guy. You know, he goes in there with a game plan. He holds his shape beautifully. He fires extremely hard punches, but it's the speed and the accuracy that are his main attributes for me. And the way he holds his shape. I mean, it's from the floorboards up, from the feet up, very, very well poised, well educated, and the foundation is there for him to utilize his power. Now, how are we going to predicting this fight? To me, I mean, Inoue is a deserved favourite, but even if you assume that he's going to win, even if you pick him to win, the question is, how is he going to win? With that kind of power, of course, you can land it and you can get rid of a guy early, which he most certainly has done. Inoue, I mean, he's immense power on the guy. I still think back to when he did Juan Carlos Piano in a round. That was back in 2018. That was an amazing knockout. And then Emmanuel Rodriguez went out in 2, and people were picking him to stop NONITO DONAIRE in that first fight in 2019. But Donaire, of course, as we know, has a brilliant chin. But that first fight with Donaire, really proved to me so much about NONITO INOUE, that he wasn't just about power, that he wasn't just about blowing people out of the water. He showed a fantastic chin. He showed extreme mental strength. I believe he had a cracked orbital bone, but he certainly had a very bad cut over his right eye. I think it was his right eye, that bled profusely from about, I think, round 8. But the mental pressure that Donaire was putting on Inoue from the word go, from the early rounds, even though I think after 4 rounds, if memory serves, I had Inoue 4. No, it was, I think he won 3 out of the first 4 rounds. But I remember thinking, Donaire is putting this pressure on Inoue, more and more pressure, making him think, mental pressure, not just the physical stuff. And as the fight goes on, he's going to start letting his hands go more, Donaire. And that's sure enough, that's what happened. And the way Inoue can, because you can contain a fighter, but you've got to draw his sting. You've got to put him under mental pressure and make him fight at a pace and in a mental place, a mental space where he's not used to it, he doesn't want to be. Otherwise, the guy that you're containing can carry on fighting all night. It isn't just about containing an opponent, a live opponent. It's about, putting him in a box and you suddenly take over. And Donaire threatened to do that, but it was give and take, give and take. And after 4 rounds, I was thinking to myself, Donaire could have him here down the stretch. Now, this hinted at happening in that first fight, because in the 8th round, Donaire was, you know about Donaire's left hook, one of the best punches in boxing. But I think, if memory serves, in the 8th round, it was a big right hand that made Inoue hold. And actually, it was bang on the button right here. And Inoue took it, was badly shaken, but hung on in the 8th round. Went back to his corner. His face was a mask of blood. And you really thought that there's 4 rounds to go. Is Donaire going to turn the heat up and maybe stop Inoue? No. Inoue, with his mental strength, with his composure, with his self-belief, with his skill set, came back and in the 9th round badly rattled Donaire. And he really proved to me that he is a great fighter. The word great gets thrown around, but I think Inoue, is he a 3 or a 4 weight world champ? Because he skipped over, I think he skipped over flyweight, went from light flyweight to super flyweight and bantam. So I think he's a 3 weight world champ. Okay, but belts, winning belts, Adrian Broner's got 4 of them at 4 different weights. But he's wasted a lot of his talent. He ain't going to the Hall of Fame. This guy is. Because he's not just won those belts, but he's faced fortitude, he's faced crises, and he's come back so brilliantly. And in that first fight in the championship rounds, Inoue, despite having that awful 8th round, took over. And in the 11th round, if you've seen the fight, you'll know that it was a right hand to the body, or was it a left? I can't remember offhand. That had Nonito Donaire badly hurt, and Donaire took a knee and nearly got counted out. Got up. It was a hellish 11th round for Donaire. He somehow survived, and then he survived the 12th. It was a clear points win for Inoue, at least in my book it was anyway. Like I say, one of the judges had it very close, but I thought it was a 9-3, 8-4 sort of 8 rounds to 4, 9 rounds to 3 type of fight for Inoue. Or no disrespect to Donaire, he did everything he possibly could. He put that mental pressure, that physical pressure. He used his skill set. He set traps for Inoue. Now, why am I talking about this first fight when this is supposed to be a prediction for what's going to happen on Tuesday, on the 7th of June? Well, to be honest with you, it's such a difficult fight to predict that I think the clues lie in that first fight. And one of the clues, definitely, is that if you look at that fight, Inoue didn't really work the body at all. Nonito Donaire did. He was throwing the odd punch, the odd bit of body work, but not nearly enough to trouble Inoue. But Inoue did absolutely nothing until the championship rounds, and then he was having immense success to the body. Put Donaire on the floor with it, almost finished him. I think in this fight, Inoue will be going to the body much, much earlier on. And I think he'll be sharp shooting like he normally does with the head punches, especially the right cross. But I think he'll be mixing his work up more. I think he was headhunting a bit too much in that first fight. And I think that will make Donaire a little bit more reticent at trying to keep that front foot pressure on Inoue like he did in the first fight. In the first fight, even when he was taking those sharp shooting punches early on, and he did take a few of them in the first 3-4 rounds, he wasn't taking a backward step, not at all. If anything, he was edging closer, trying to get close, keep the pressure on. I think if Inoue whacks to the body more, starts his body work early, that will make Donaire much more reticent about moving forward too much. It might put him in his box. It might contain him. No doubt NONITO Donaire has an immense, wonderful skill set. But will he get the chance? It's all about limiting the chance for the opponent to take those tools out of the toolbox and use them. So I think, and I think because of, if he starts the body work early, I think Inoue will control the range better and be on top for more of the fight. I don't think the first 8 rounds will be as give and take, shall we say, as in the first fight. Power will come into it. NONITO Donaire has hurt Inoue in the past. Like in the 8th round of the first fight, he hurt him. He's got one of the best left hooks that I can remember ever seeing on a modern day fighter. Certainly in the last 20 years, one of the best left hooks I've seen, Donaire. But there's no doubt that Inoue has real immense power, especially. But he came up from light flyweight. It's amazing. I think, like I say, the bodywork's going to play a big part. I think it will soften up Donaire, and my prediction is that NONITO Donaire will be stopped by NAOYA INOUE in probably the 10th round, the championship rounds. Is it possible that it could happen before that? Of course. If you've got a man with that amount of power, yes, he could catch you. He could catch him in the first round. You just don't know. But Donaire, I don't see Donaire as in any shape or form being a shot fighter, even though he's 40. On the contrary, this is an Indian summer of his career. I see him showing a lot of his skills, but I just see Inoue containing him more. Probably the jab might get used a bit more. I think if I was Donaire, I'd be using the jab a bit more than he did in the first fight. Certainly, if Inoue does go to the body more, I think that Donaire has to make this a jabbing contest and try and keep Inoue off him, and then maybe open up, like I say, kind of put the pressure on and maybe open up later. But it's very difficult to predict how this fight's going to unfold. But I do think, like I say, when all is said and done, I think Inoue will just have a little bit too much for Donaire this time round. Will have learnt from those 36 minutes of hell in the first fight, beautiful hell, and will probably get on top of Donaire in the middle rounds and then stop him in about 10 rounds. So that's my prediction. NONITO INOUE, is that how you pronounce it? To stop NONITO Donaire in the championship rounds. I'll go with the 10th, but the last quarter of the fight anyway. So what do you think? Do you agree with that? Do you not agree with that? I think it's going to be a great fight, a real great rematch. I think both these guys are just beautiful to watch, an immense credit to themselves and the sport. Their careers have been wonderful. And yeah, leave your comments below if you disagree with me or agree with me. I don't know, you tell me. And thank you for watching. And of course, if you're new and you could subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Takes a second. That's a real, I appreciate that. I appreciate your time. Hit the like button, share the video, do what you got to do. Let's look forward to this great fight. Much love to all of you, and we will speak again soon. Bye for now.